Hi everyone, Doug here. Welcome to yet another board game channel and yet another turn of Arkham Horror. As we run through the cool air scenario, trying to prevent Ithaca from coming through and freezing us all solid. Didn't have much of a first turn. Michael McGlynn failed his story instantly because Foolish managed to get himself $5 right away in one go. And yeah, there was very little going on, but we only had the one monster. No really interesting encounters. And even the Mythos card was kind of pretty much a non-event. Although we do now have 4 monsters out on the board. But we will see what we can do. So let's get into the upkeep phase. Alright, not much is going to happen during the upkeep phase. We're only going to make a couple of minor changes. Skids, who is now our lead investigator, we're going to move his speed up to 3 and just leave it at that. Zoe, I'm not making any changes to. Not making any changes to Carolyn. She does have the bank loan, but you don't have to do upkeeps on this sort of thing on the first turn after you get it, so we won't worry about the upkeep until then. Which just leaves a slight change for Michael McGlynn. Yes, Michael, we're going to adjust his slider over here, giving him 4 will, because I want him to be able to successfully get past Aloygor, as we'll see when his turn comes around. Okay, on to the movement phase. Alright, Skids has got a speed of 3, so we're just going to move him 1, 2, 3. I'm going to stop by the Silver Twilight Lodge in his quest to collect clues to get extra clues on his personal story. So he's up to 2, and we want to get 5 on there. I want to make sure we don't get below 3 clues on the board, but we're left at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are good for now. Next up, we're going to move Zoe. Okay, Zoe, with a speed of 3, is going to move 1, 2, 3 over to Independence Square. We're going to see about getting her to close that gate because she has 6 clues, which is slightly more than is required to seal the gate. And while we're in this area, we're going to have Carolyn do her movement next. She has a speed of 2. 1, 2. We're moving her back to Arkham so that next turn she can fulfill her personal story and get some good stuff out of it. And finally, well, he's still in shot as well. Michael McGlynn, who has a speed of 5, which is more than I actually need. But it's fine. We're going to move 1, 2, and 3. We're going to move him to the graveyard, where he ends his movement and has to face the Aloygor. Alright, Michael at the graveyard with the Aloygor. Don't necessarily need him to beat it. I mean, if he can, great, but even if he doesn't, he's going to get pulled through that gate, which is what I actually want him to do. So, first things first, we really need him to not fail the horror check, because he will go completely insane and have to go up to Arkham, and yeah, everything falls apart. But it is just at a -1, and I put his will up to 4. So he's going to get to roll 3. He's also got bravery, which means we can exhaust it wants to re-roll a horror check. Hopefully we won't even need to do that. Oh, there we go. 2 successes, so he passes the horror check. Now he is going to fight it. Right, I forgot it's got weapon immunity, so he's definitely not going to succeed. Because his fight is 3, and it's at a -2. And he can't use his Tommy gun, or even his dynamite. So, yes, we're going to roll. And yes, that's an automatic fail, because he needed 2 success to combat the 2 toughness. That's okay. Again, I just wanted to get him safely through the space so he can go through. So he's going to take 3 damage. Stamina, which will leave him at 4 stamina. So he's still, you know, slightly more than half alive. Alright, that is it for the movement. Now we will go on to the Arkham encounter phase. Okay, Skids is hanging around the Silver Twilight Lodge, so we'll just shuffle and see what we get. Make a sneak -2 check. Alright, his sneak is currently 2, so that's going to be 0. Do we spend 1 clue to just... Yeah, let's go ahead and spend. He's got 5 clues collected. And we're going to send him around to collect more clues for the next little bit anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead and spend 1 clue so he at least gets to roll 1 die. Make it slightly interesting. Hey, he succeeded. Rolled himself a 6. If you pass, you slip into the temple area of the lodge and find 2 items of interest. Roll a die for each item. On a success, draw a unique item. Otherwise, draw a common item. Okay. So let's roll a couple dice here. No, both fails, but he still gets a couple of common items. So, on the top of the deck, Skids picks up the .18 Derringer, or rather another copy of the .18 Derringer, which we saw Carolyn has. Oh, and the Dark Cloak, which gives him a +1 to evade checks. Let's put that in his player area. So that was moderately successful for Skids. Next up, we're going to go to the other end of the board for, well, all 3 of our other investigators. Alright, up next is Zoe, who, rather than getting an encounter in Independence Square, will get pulled through the gate and end up in another dimension, which is way over on the other side of the board off camera. We'll move her there shortly. Next up is Carolyn Fern. Actually, let's just put her there now. Carolyn, her sanity is fine, so she can't do the alternative text. On Arkham Asylum, she's going to actually have to have an encounter there. Nurse Heather accidentally injects you with a sleeping draft. You may make a fight -2 check to resist. If you fail and choose not to resist, you lose your next turn and gain 2 sanity from the prolonged rest. If you pass, nothing happens. Well, we don't want to miss a turn if we don't have to. So yeah, we'll do a fight -2 check, which means you're just going to roll 1. I spend the clue. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and spend her clue for a reroll because I don't want to miss a turn. We're going to miss a turn. And if we were low on sanity, we would have healed too, but we're not going to. So next turn will be largely uneventful for Carolyn. Final Arkham encounter is going to be Michael McGlenn, who gets pulled through the gate to Relay. Relay? I can never pronounce that one correctly. So that's it for the Arkham encounters, so we will be moving on to the Otherworld encounters. First up is Zoe, over there in another dimension. Any colored card will do, so the first one happens. We will be doing Other. Gain a pass a luck -1 check to find a quiet spot to rest. Gain 2 stamina and 2 sanity. Well, as she has suffered neither losses, do the roll anyway, just for the sake of completeness. It would be luck -1. Her luck is 3. She would have failed, but it doesn't matter because she's just fine right now, thank you. Alright, now we're going to move way over to the other end of the board and see what Michael McGlenn encounters. Alright, he's in Relay, which is either a red or a yellow card. Oh, red, right away. Abyss, Plateau of Lang, or Other. You push yourself to the limit. Roll 1 die for each point of stamina you have. Lose 1 stamina for each die that does not roll a success. Ooh. If you do not fall unconscious, gain 1 clue token for each die that rolled a success. Okay, well, he's currently at 4 stamina. So we're going to lose the stamina for each failure, but get a clue for each success we roll. Oh. Oops. Still in the first spot. Yikes. We got 3 fails and a success. So that means Michael's down to 1 stamina. Yeah, that's not good. But he does pick up a clue. Yay. Could have used the clue there for re-rolling purposes. Actually, we couldn't have re-rolled because it wasn't a standard check. Oh well. Yeah. Hopefully Michael makes it through the next couple of turns, because it would be a damn shame if he had to start this all over and try to close the gate again. Well, we'll see. That wraps up all of our investigators' adventures. So we will now move on to the dreaded mythos phase. Alright. It's time. First of all, gate appears at the unvisited isle. The gate will be to the Great Hall of Ciliano. At least we don't lose a clue there. But we do have to add a 3rd out of 11 Doom tokens for Ithaca. We gotta draw our monster. This will give us 5 out of 7 monsters on board. Oh, it's got another cultist. Let's take out cultists. They're nice and easy. That shows up at the unvisited isle. We get a clue appear at the science building, not far away. And then, yes, the monster movement. So we have squares, diamonds, and circles. That's a crescent. The Loigor hurts folks in the area are next to, but there's nobody adjacent. Same for this Loigor. That cultist is a crescent. And the Migu up in the skies stays there because there's nobody in the streets for it to swoop down upon. All right. So we have an environment card. Alien technology. Migo have their toughness increased by 2. Ugh. What are they normally? Just the 1? Yeah, they're normally just 1, so they're 3 toughness right now. If an investigator passes a combat check against one, they draw an extra unique item, which would be fine if I thought we could take one on. Alright, I'll just put that to the side and keep that in mind that that's in effect. So we had some success and some, I'm a little worried about Michael not being able to finish the little mission we've sent him on. We'll have to see what happens next time. I hope you join me then. Thanks very much everybody for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. And liking the videos both on YouTube and Board Game Geek. It's very much appreciated. And I will see you next time for yet another turn of Arkham Horror. See you then.